Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
On the national news this hour from Babagbagide Imo Television, first the headlines. U.S. court denies motion for urgent release of President Tinubu'S confidential records as compiled by FBI CIA. Tinubu'S certificate prove alleged forgery beyond reasonable doubt, Supreme Court tells Atiku. FG plan $10 billion to stabilize Naira, eyes NNPCL for Forex. Parliamentary stabs to shun down national state assemblies. NAS demand justice for Nigerian students killed in Philippines. On sports, Guardiola never wanted him to leave. Agent explains why new Super Eagles midfielder left Man City. And the second story, bring Enyama back to Super Eagles. I am Morire Rebila Lawa, the news in detail. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu on Monday received a temporary relief after a federal judge in the United States denied a request for an urgent release of Nigerian leaders' confidential records compiled by American law enforcement authorities. Information out on Monday reported that the U.S. court would give its position regarding the motion filed by Tinubu to intervene in an emergency motion filed on Friday at the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, seeking the release of records related to his residence in the country. An IT consultant, Aaron Greenspan, on July 24, 2022, filed a Freedom of Information request asking the country's agencies to release Tinubu'S record. Greenspan filed an emergency motion on Friday, October 20th, seeking the immediate release of the records. Greenspan's motion on October 20th urged Judge Beryl Orwell to quickly order the Federal Bureau of Investigation, State Department, and other U.S. bodies to immediately return over records by schedule for release before the end of October. Plaintiff's emergency motion for a hearing to compel immediate document production is denied. Ms. Orwell of the United States District Court for the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. ruled on Monday night. No hearing to determine the merit of this motion is necessary. People's Gazette report that Greenspan, a transparency activist running in plain sight, filed an emergency request for after Tinubu suddenly deployed lawyers to fight against their release, saying it would violate his privacy, among other statutory rights. Greenspan said Tinubu was trying to slow walk the release of the documents, which the agency had previously stipulated would be released in batches effective October ending, to forestall and foreclose any impacts the disclosures may have on the ongoing election dispute at Nigerian Supreme Court. 7 justices had earlier on Monday heard argument from Tinubu's lawyer, as well as lawyers for Atiku, the president's main challenger. The chairman of the Supreme Court panel hearing the appeals against the presidential election of President Tinubu, Justice John Okoye said on Monday that the People's Democratic Party standard bearer in the February presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, must prove the allegation of certificate forgery leveled against the ex-Lagos State governor beyond reasonable doubt. Okoye handed down the admonition during the hearing of the election petition appeals filed by Atiku and Peter Obi of the Labour Party. He stated these following the submission of Atiku's lead counsel, Chris Uche San, urging the court to admit the fresh evidence brought by the petitioners. In his bid to nullify Tinubu's victory and prove the allegation that he was not qualified to contest the presidential poll, Atiku had prayed to an Illinois Chicago District Court to order the Chicago State University to release the president's academic records. The former vice president had accused Tinubu of falsifying the CSU Diploma of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration awarded in 1979 that he submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission. He demanded a copy of any diploma issued by CSU in 1979. A copy of the diploma the CSU gave to Tinubu in 1979 and copies of diplomas with the same font, seal, signatures, and wording awarded to other students that are similar to what CSU awarded to him in 1979. Atiku's application was opposed by Tinubu's lawyers, citing privacy concerns, even as they considered that only the certificate should be released and not other privileged records. President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians and investors that there is an ongoing plan to boost the country's foreign exchange liquidity. This was as the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, said that the country was expecting about 10 billion US dollar inflows in the nearest term, which would help to clear foreign exchange backlogs and stabilize the naira. Speaking at the 29th Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja on Monday, Tinubu acknowledged the challenges faced by many Nigerians and community in financial markets and assured them of additional foreign exchange liquidity to restore market confidence. He also emphasized his administration's commitment to strengthening governance by establishing a performance and result-oriented public and civil service culture and structure. The president outlined the 8 priorities items of his administration to include ending poverty, achieving food security, economic growth and job creation, access to capital, inclusivity and security, fairness and rule of law, and anti-corruption. He mentioned several measures introduced by his government to resuscitate the economy, such as the 5 billion naira intervention to support small businesses and the agricultural sector, and also announced upcoming initiatives including a new student loan program and consumer credits incomes. Tinubu called on private sector to support his vision for a greater Nigeria and urged them to bring their ideas, leadership, capital, and collective will to build a future of renewed hope. He emphasized the importance of a collaborative relationship between the government and private sector, citing the success of public-private partnerships in transforming Lagos State. Members of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigerian Persons have declared their intentions to embark on a nationwide strike on Wednesday, October 25, 2023, if their demands are not addressed by the expiration of a 21-day ultimatum it issued in September. The union demanded, among other things, the state governors should commence immediate implementation on financial autonomy for state assemblies in line with the 1999 Constitution. A letter of notice written to the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, chairman of the Forum of Speakers, and the Department of State Security Services, the workers noted that they had earlier issued a 21-day strike notice and will therefore not do same this time around. The letter signed by National President Mohammed Usman reiterated the union's preparedness to direct the members to embark on the proposed strike action if its demands are not yielded to. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, yesterday demanded justice for a Nigerian student, Ikechukwu Ikem Emmanuel, who was murdered in Philippines. Vice President External Affairs of NANS, Babatunde Afiz Akintaye, in a statement yesterday said the international community must condemn such a gruesome and inhuman act. Akintaye said NANS was deeply disturbed and appalled by the heinous barbaric act that resulted in the tragic death of the Nigerian medical student in the Philippines. He warned that the relationship between the Philippines and China should not overshadow the pursuit of justice for Ikem, adding that failure to hold the perpetrators accountable would not be tolerated. The brutal and senseless murder of Ikem, a promising Nigerian medical student pursuing his dreams in the Republic of the Philippines, is an unforgivable tragedy that has taken our collective conscience. The Olowu of Owu, Abeokuta, Ogun State, Professor Saka Matemilola, on Monday called for support or fight against the menace of drug abuse and substance among youth. He described the havoc such antisocial behavior wreak among youth as huge. Oba Matemilola spoke at a press conference held in his palace to kick off the celebration of 2023 Odun Omolowu with a theme, A New Dawn. He urged Nigerians to keep hope alive with the biting economic realities in the country because even the rich are lamenting. He said the antidote to the prevailing harsh realities of the economy in the country is for the people to adjust to the realities on the ground by learning to live within their means while cutting their coat according to their clothes. Obama Temlola also noted that as part of efforts aimed at redirecting the path of the youth in the kingdom, the Owu Kingdom, in collaboration with other stakeholders such as the Neuropsychiatric Hospital, AIRO, Abeokuta, Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Positive Youth and Family Life Mission Center, among others, have embarked on an intensive campaign against drug abuse among the youth. It is essential we synergize with people and groups of like mind to fight the evil of drug and substance abuse among our youth. We also know the evil of drugs and how destructive it could be in the lives of our youth. It is against this background that we are taking the bold lead to further support our youth to fight off this challenge. The federal government has received 108 Nigerian migrants stranded in the Niger Republic. This is contained in a statement by the Southwest Zonal Coordinator, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Mr. Alexander Oturu, on Tuesday in Abuja. The Commission said the Nigerians include 32 males, 29 females, 44 children and 3 infants. The migrants were conveyed to the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency camp, where the NCFRMI, an international organization for migration, have a tripartite agreement to provide temporary shelter for the returnees before they are provided with onward transportation allowance to enable them to get to their family destinations, he said. The return, he said, was facilitated by the Nigerian mission in Niamey and the IOM. Moving on to Kaduna State, terrorists on Sunday night launched an attack on the Damusa local government area of Katsina State, killing 5 people and injuring no fewer than 12 persons. Also in the first attack, 3 people were killed by gunmen in Breningwari local government area of Kaduna State. It was led that the insurgent abducted 5 residents in the Katsina invasion. The spokesman for the Katsina State Police Command, Abubakar Aliyu, said the incident occurred at 10 p.m. We have already commenced an investigation. Our men are on top of the situation, he said. Residents revealed that the terrorists turned the town in their numbers and started shooting from the outskirts of the communities. The Commissioner for Internal Security in Katsina State, Nasiru Muhazu, described the incident as unfortunate, adding that the state government will continue to prioritize citizen safety. In Kaduna, the terrorists killed a local hunter identified as Bashir Shekaro and 2 commercial drivers, Mustafa Adamu and Malam Mukhtar. When contacted, the police spokesperson in Kaduna, Mansir Hassan, said, "I am in a program, please," says his reply. On sports, head coach of the senior national team of Nigeria, Joseph Pesero, handed a debut to Atiyaspor of Turkey midfielder Fisayo Dele Bashiru in the team's 3-2 win friendly over Mozambique in Portugal. The 22-year-old started on the right side of Nigeria's attack as opposed to his preferred role in the middle of the pitch, yet he provided the assist for the goal that drew Nigeria level. He now has 5 assists this season, with 4 coming for his club. He also has 4 goals as well, despite not getting in on the act in their 2-4 loss to Fenerbahce, a game that he was on for the entire duration. Rated as one of the best summer signings in the Turkish league so far, his decision to leave Manchester City 3 years ago appears to have paid off, based on the fact that he left in search of regular first-team football. And lastly, on sport as well, as regards the issue rocking the goalkeeping at the Super Eagles, after the latest international test games against Saudi Arabia and Mozambique, football fans have continued to express worries over the goalkeeping issues and the Super Eagles as Nigeria build up to the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire, January next year. The abysmal showing of the Super Eagles' first-choice goalkeeper, Francis Uzoho, in recent matches for Nigeria has further echoed the fears of several football stakeholders who have called for an urgent attention to be given to the quality of goalkeepers in the national team if the country is to excel at the next year's AFCON. Former Nigerian international Ita Peterside has called for the return of former goalkeeper Vincent Enyama to the national team to celebrate the goalkeeping issues in the team. Ida, who was live on Sportville on television, said Enyama should be engaged as Eagles goalkeepers coach to the AFCON. According to the former Morocco Swallows of South Africa goalkeeper, the presence of Enyama, who was capped 101 times for Nigeria and the Eagles, will motivate the likes of Uzoho, Maduka Okoye, Adebayo Adeleye and other goalies to step up their game. If we bring in Enyama as goalkeeper coach, his wealth of experience as a former AFCON winner and 2-time World Cup goalkeeper for Nigeria will significantly help to improve the goalies in the camp. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's national news. Before we go, some headlines. U.S. court denies motion for urgent release of Tinubu'S confidential records as compiled by FBI, CIA. Prove alleged forgery beyond reasonable doubt, Supreme Court tells Atiku. FG plans 10 billion US dollar to stabilize Naira, eyes NNPCL into Forex. Parliamentary staff set to shun national states assemblies. NAS demand justice for Nigerian student killed in Philippines. And on sport, bring back Inyama to Super Eagles. For updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Babagade Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagade Imo with Alawi Adibayo. Please like and follow the page. For other placement of recruiting services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. It's absolutely good when your character is good, because goodness always attracts goodness. My name is Morire Rabila Lawal. Good afternoon.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.